So right now I'll be watching the Netflix series, The Grimm Variations, Episode 1. And I don't really know much about this series. Similar to how I don't know much about other animes that I watch before I watch them. And I really don't know anything about this because I've never seen any trailers for it. And the only reason I know about it is because I just saw it randomly pop up on Netflix. And I was like, oh, it looks cool. And then I saw the title, I was like, oh my god, it's an anime about the stories from the Brothers Grimm books. And I was like, I totally have to watch this series. Because at the very least, quite a few people don't know that Disney's movies that are based off of these tales are based off of these tales. And not necessarily the tales from this anime series, but the stories that the Grimm's brothers managed to compile into their own book. And they come from all different parts of the world, I believe. So I'm really interested to see how these stories vary because in the name, variations. And I'm hoping that at the very least, some of the stories that we see are much closer to the original source material than basically any other modern version that's out here today. Because all the original versions of these stories are extremely dark, and parents would tell these to their children. So I'm really hoping that this series takes on a more faithful approach to it. But if not, also that's fine. Although I do believe that there are quite a few animes out there that deal with these same stories, if not similar ones. I can't remember their names right now, but I'll just put them on the screen because I know these exist, so. And I also know about two other shows that did some adaptation to some of the stories. The first one being R.L. Stine's The Haunting Hour, and I believe it's only specifically in one episode. And I remember that episode because one, it mentions one of the stories that I know, and two, it had a twist to it that I really enjoyed, and it became memorable to me for that reason. And the second series that also adapts some of the Brothers Grimm stories is the animated series Ever After High. And I love that series. And I'm either thinking of doing either both a reaction to the episodes and then doing a video that summarizes the entire series, or doing videos for each book. Since there are approximately about 3, and there's a 4th one, but that was a crossover with Monster High. It's basically a series about the kids from the famous fairy tale protagonists, and some characters even from Wonderland, and they all attend the same school, and they're separated into 2 different factions. The ones who are destined to have good endings, and the ones who are destined to have bad endings. Since each child is meant to follow in the footsteps of their parents, they don't have their own stories. They literally have to repeat their parents' stories. And the principal is no other than one of the Grimm brothers. And I don't remember how exactly it happened, but the second brother is lost somewhere, so that's why only one of the brothers is the headmaster. But I believe both of them used to be the headmaster. And actually, I don't remember ever seeing any trailers about this anywhere. Not on YouTube or even mentioned online. Netflix is the only reason I know about this anime series. And the only thing I have right now for my background is Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. And I bought this book at a Barnes & Noble years ago, and it only cost me $8. And I have read some of these stories, but I haven't read the entire thing yet. But I knew I had a book that had some of the stories from the Brothers Grimm in it. And then I found this one, I was like, I knew I had it. I didn't know where it was exactly, but I knew I had it. Now, having said all that, on to the episode. So I tried to see if I would like to watch it in English dub, but no, I couldn't get into it. I'm gonna just keep the Japanese dub. There's very much a different kind of animation style. I don't dislike it though. It's weird, but it fits the aesthetic because it's about the fairy tales. Also, I didn't know they had a sister. I don't know how true this is. Oh, Cinderella. There's a happy ending. Well, that isn't always the case, sadly. Oh, cool, an opening song. Oh, that's so cool. Hey, Little Red Riding Hood. Alright, oh, I love this. It looks like it's gonna be, at the very least, more authentic to the originals. So I just read the synopsis and it said that it was a dark take on the stories. So I was like, okay, good. So it's gonna keep the dark aesthetic of the originals. Oh, I'm excited for this. And we get over 40 minutes each episode. I love it. Oh, what studio did this one? Nice. Kind of reminds me of the case study of Vanitas. Oh shit. Oh, it'd still be good to get her opinion on her possible new stepmother. Or I wouldn't necessarily say a new mother, just a maternal-like figure. Oh shit, this is the Cinderella story already. Damn, she's a pretty good actress then. Princess Kaguya? You know, they didn't look like the stereotypical mean girls. They look very much normal and plain. Looks can be deceiving after all. They're not daughters of a Viscount, they're stepdaughters of a Viscount. Oh, that looked really pretty, the ornament. Oh, she's so cute. I mean, you could say your name, girl. No, the dad wasn't kidding. She really does want to embrace this new family. You know, it's kind of funny. I would almost think that she's the mean one instead of them. Like she's putting on the act, but then she ends up being a terrible stepdaughter and tortures him, and the dad doesn't believe them. She's gonna kill the birds. Are those the birds that are gonna come at them at the end? Kinda like Ella Enchanted. No, that's not proper etiquette. Yeah, and watch your... Oh, okay. Wow, Cinderella. Okay. Well, that is not proper etiquette, so maybe just at the house. Why are you showing that to them? Girl, you should keep them for yourself. They're gonna rip it. She was a geisha. And also, at least close the door before you talk about them. Yeah, that was strange. Yeah, but also you kind of want one too, so. Are they gonna not like Kyoko now because part of the resentment comes from the fact that she's giving them all the stuff? I keep feeling that she's evil though. Maybe it's the coloring. Is the doll evil? Oh my god, it moves! Are you gonna feed your new family to that doll? She's evil! She's evil! Oh my god, this is a different interpretation. They can't find something, can they? The amethyst brooch? Huh. She's gonna make it seem like they're the ones asking her to give them stuff. Now that's strange. Oh, it's the one that also wanted kimono. Oh, she actually stole it? But it wasn't who I thought. Wow. It's baseless. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, wow. In the garden? What was it doing in the garden? Yeah, you should have stopped her a lot sooner. Well, at least she says my husband and not it belongs to me. It does look better on her though, than on her sister. Damn. Bowing at them after they talk about them like that. I think just the first few minutes. What's the rest of the episode gonna be about? This also gives me Demon Slayer vibes due to like the animation style, and I think some of the characters too. Well, they're not gonna admit it. Whoa. But then who's gonna do all the stuff? I don't trust you. But also now, they'll probably start thinking that Kyoko's doing a lot of stuff on purpose. Well, I mean, that is what you are. But also it doesn't justify their actions. Oh, she's starting to realize it now. She did find it in the garden. Whoa, wow. Oh no, and them being up there, oh my god, they're gonna think she was pushed. Oh, maybe that's what she wants them to believe. I knew it! I had my doubts, but I knew it! Oh. Damn. How long have you been married for? Like a few days? A divorce? Or kicking them out? Oh, good lord. Kyoko, you're overacting now. Now to get the hell out of Dodge. Oh, okay, no. Creepy as hell, and they know it. No, it's a trap again. Whoa. She's gonna make them think that she's being abused by her stepsisters, but she's not. Oh my god, she's a shrewd child. They're gonna seem like the villains. I'm thoroughly creeped out. Oh. How does nobody ever see them? Oh, girl, that's not a good look. So she really didn't want to have a new mom and family then. This is a bit extreme though. Oh, he's going out of town. I clocked that from the second I saw her, but yeah. I don't know, maybe joy? Is it? Maybe she has a victim complex? What? They don't despise her! My god! I'm getting a headache, what do you mean? So she's next. Madam, what happened to mom? Oh, what's in that tea? Or is she gonna spill some tea on herself and say that she dropped it on her and burned her hand? You're not a maid. I wouldn't drink that. Oh, she finally realized that she's being called madam. This is crazy. It almost seems like she wants this. She wants to... Her dad died! What I was gonna say is that I feel like it seems that she wants... What the fuck is going on? She's like, oh, is it? Oh my god. Like, my mom died, I didn't feel anything. Why does a doll talk? She's wearing very bright colors. Fuck is she wearing? What the fuck? Oh no. What the hell? I'm confused. Fuck was I gonna say? Oh yeah, that it almost seems like she wants the original version of the story to happen. She wants to be verbally abused by her stepfamily. That's the crazy part. And why does she sleep on the floor? And she now dresses exactly like the servants do. So does she want them to then believe that they're better than her so they can start mistreating her or what? Okay, it's been 5 years now. Oh god, is she gonna kill her stepmom now too? Oh. So I don't visit that woman. Okay, yeah, they now fit their roles pretty well. Like she wants it though, it's weird. Now that's true, she does have the power now. Yeah, no. I wouldn't trust the medicine. Her dad had a trip, maybe his carriage broke down and that's how he died? Does that not concern you? You know, just go one day without drinking that stuff and maybe you'll feel different. Also, seeing her like that, she really reminds me of Mio from My Happy Marriage. And also this story because it's also an anime that's referencing Cinderella in some ways. Oh, I figured that. That's the weird part. Okay, so you're gonna kill your stepmom and then who's next? Your older stepsister, then the younger one? She's dead now, isn't she? Oh. Oh, this was years ago. Oh, is there a prince also in this story? Also, does nobody find it strange that Kyoko's the one always giving her medicine and nobody else ever seems to give her medicine? One such as I, girl, you're the daughter of the late lord of that place. I'm assuming Kyoko wants to be that bride. To escape this house, I agree. Oh. She's just right there. You know, also, eye color wise, she reminds me of Aoi from Kakuryo Bed and Breakfast or Spirits. Oh, that's very modern. Seriously? But she can't replace her either. Kyoko. She broke her mother's stuff? Yeah, the way the maid noticed it too, she was like, that's weird. There's a change of attitude here. No, something's gonna happen to them for sure. I would worry. Koki? Sounds like she said coffee. Also, the fact that they're just openly talking about it. I know they're in a room, but still, I would very much be afraid of that girl and maybe speak in sign language or something, or write it down, then burn the paper immediately. Because I'm assuming they know she's right there. Or maybe they suspect she's there, but still, it's like, you don't want to risk the chance, even if she isn't. Just don't say it out loud, because she's gonna know that her plan is working. Or that you have a plan yourself. Her plan probably being that she wants them to look bad at this ball, so that she's chosen to be the bride. Whoa. It's the naval officer, isn't it? It is him! She's dying. She's finally saying what she really thinks of them. Well, she knows she's dying, so she figures, why hide my true face anymore? Damn, she's a drinker, isn't she? Uh-huh. Doesn't mean you should get drunk to the point of acting reckless. Kyoko's arrived, hasn't she? She suspects it? Yeah, it has to be her. Oh, shit. Wearing a red dress. With the hair ornament. That's a dress. You're making it seem like they told her not to come. Damn, she's laying it on thick for the crowd. She's selling the bad stepsister pretty well. Sawako, you're not gonna help. Oh. You could have said how you act like you're less than us to make it seem like we're the bad ones, but we're gonna go straight to slapping her. It's just like that maid. But she didn't even do anything. Yeah, they seem like the bad guys now. Oh god. Yo, why is it always CGI horses though? I miss the days back when it was hand-drawn. Don't you mean that towards her? You know, if only he had like a sixth sense or something about it, so you could tell there's something off about her. she was just too cheerful in the beginning. Not to say that just because she was really ready to accept her new stepmom as her new mother can't happen with kids, but it's just that right there was what started my suspicion. I was like, wait, that's a little strange. I mean, maybe not. It's not necessarily as common. We're gonna see what she's been doing all this time. She literally fell down. I thought she would just play, like she would walk down, she would go down. I knew it! I knew that she rigged the car! Oh, okay, so she considers them her dolls. Oh girl, this is so creepy. Oh, that poor guy. Unless he's also secretly crazy. I want an explanation for this. Maybe there isn't one, and she's just crazy, but... Okay. I wonder, is she gonna turn her into a doll or something? Oh, that's true. Oh, what? Oh my god! Oh gods, this is scarier than some anime I've seen. Now she's remembering how terrible she's been. Oh, I kind of hope people don't sleep on this anime series because it's crazy. My man, you don't want to see her again. Oh, and her eyes were immediate. Is her shoe gonna fall off and he's gonna go find her? Or he's gonna go visit her house? Oh, it's her brooch this time. Okay. How could she have kept you away from your mom, though? Oh, okay. Oh, lady, you don't know what you're talking about. Exactly, they never question anything unless they're in on it. Oh, that's so heartless. Yeah, somebody inspect the stuff she was giving that lady. That medicine was not medicine. Also, why don't they just leave now? I know their mom passed, but they can just run away, can't they? I know they tried already once, but... yeah, you could call it that. You know, death is the ultimate calm. But also, what happens when you kill them? Will you then kill yourself? Also, I'm surprised she doesn't consider the staff her dolls too. That's a nice outfit. Girl, I would leave that household. Oh, and he's here to see her and not the eldest stepdaughter. That isn't even true. Yeah, if you ask the servants, they should probably be able to tell you that. Oh, okay, yeah. Sako, you're not in the best light again, so... Oh girl, you're like the Kaya right now. And she's like the Mio and he's like the Kudo. Gladly take her, we don't want her. Oh... They could think of this as a fresh start. Well, he did them a favor. Also, they really were acting all mean to her like that because that's what she wanted. Oh, is that what the birds represent now? Oh, that's a nice difference. It's a nice change. Now it's her husband. Oh shit! Wow. Damn, that was an ingenious plan. How many others are there? I've always wondered, could that be her mom in that doll and she's also crazy? Oh, they were quick, weren't they? Well, someone's gonna die young. Okay, the daughter's gonna watch them? Okay. It ends similarly like Oku in the Inner Palace. So I think I can honestly say that out of all the first episodes I've seen of any anime series, I have to say I think this one is probably one of my top ones. I wasn't expecting this. Out of all the variations that I thought of, it never crossed my mind about what happened if Cinderella was the evil one in the story. Like, for whatever reason, that variation never came to mind, but that was a possibility. Because I've also seen other shows that do something similar. Like recently in the show Invincible, they showed how in different dimensions, Mark turns evil. Though he's the good guy in the main story, he's actually the bad guy in so many other versions. So in this one, I assumed that since it had said it would be a dark version of the Tales, I thought it would be more authentic to the original Tales. I didn't know it would take this kind of twist to it. This is the kind of twist that I like though. Although it's a different take on the story, I enjoy it. It's something new that I haven't seen before, and it does it really well. I would love an explanation and more of a deep dive into Kyoko's background. I want to know how she got that doll. I want to know when she became like this. I want to know if she was born like this, or if she suddenly became crazy one day, or if her mother had it, if she had anything to do with her mother's death, because she had something to do with her dad's death and her stepmother's death. But now I'm wondering, did she also maybe cause her own mother's death? Like, that's a wild thing to have happened if it happened. It's a very interesting take, the fact that in this version, the stepsisters and the stepmom are actually very nice and very accepting of Kyoko, but Kyoko is the one who just thinks of them as her pawns. Sort of similar to how Ayana Koji from Classroom of the Elite feels about other people. He doesn't think of his fellow classmates and everybody else as people, he thinks of them as tools and pawns to be used. So the fact that Kyoko thinks that everybody in her family to be her dolls is a very interesting take on that. I want to say that I've seen something like this before, at the very least, a girl who goes crazy and just thinks of her family as pawns, but I can't remember it. But I want to say that I have seen some variation of this before. And the fact that in this version, the stepsisters are nice and they're just made to seem like they're the bad guys, and then their stepfather, of course, only believes his own biological daughter and not the two daughters of his new ex-geisha wife, would have actually been very nice to have seen if it had gone the usual direction, which would have been Kyoko actually being mistreated by her stepsisters and her stepmom, because it looks like her dad would have actually had her back. He wouldn't have allowed them to keep mistreating her, and he actually wanted to send them away. So the fact that he was doing this kind service for Kyoko, and she hated the fact that he did this, so she didn't decide to maybe try to talk him out of it. She didn't maybe think, maybe I should tell the truth a little bit, and say that they weren't mistreating her at all, and they're not making her do anything. She went straight to murder. Anybody who goes straight to murder as a solution is not right in the head. And she was just a small child. The fuck was going on in this child's mind? Was this a family trait? Again, I'm wondering how her mom was. Or if she just happened to be the crazy one in her whole family. Kind of like Debbie with her own family. Situation that comes out in the film The Addams Family too. Where the parents seem nice, but the daughter's just batshit crazy.
My parents, Sharon and Dave, generous, doting, or were they? All I ever wanted was a ballerina Barbie. I was 10. And do you know what they got me? Malibu Barbie. That's not what I wanted. That's not who I was. I was a ballerina. Graceful, delicate. They had to go. You took me in. You accepted me. But did any of you love me? Really love me? So I killed. So I named. So I destroyed one innocent life after another. Aren't I a human being? Don't I yearn and ache and shop? Don't I deserve love and jewelry?
I'm also wondering what her end goal was, cause she killed her dad, she slowly killed her stepmom, and she didn't think of these deaths as sad things, she relished in them, and she even told her stepsisters, literally the day of her father's funeral, dressed up very nice in colorful clothes, that this is a great thing because they're gonna be so much closer now. Like, that's creepy. That's insanity. Is there a manga series of this or a light novel? I will buy it right now because I really want to know. Did she have any long-term goals? Since she told her doll that she was going to have much more fun with them now because both of the parents were dead, I'm wondering how much longer was she going to keep this act up? Until she killed one of them, if not both of them, because at that point then, what's next? Are the servants next after that? Or was she going to kill herself or what? Because if I'm right, I think she has something of a victim complex or reverse Munchausen syndrome by proxy. All mixed together, a mixed bag of bunch of mental illnesses that since given the time are left untreated, she turned into this? And I'm not saying that people with mental illness are inherently bad people, I'm just saying that if she didn't have this compilation of a lot of mental illnesses, then maybe she's just insane. I don't think I've ever been more scared of a seemingly innocent character than I have of her. She's creepy because she's realistic. Because there are people just like her out there. And the fact that nobody ever questioned her, not her father, which granted kind of makes sense considering her young age, not her stepmother, who you would think she would take her own daughter's side instead of her stepdaughter's side, but even Kyoko had her thinking that her stepdaughters were the issue. Not even the servant. Even Sawa called them out on how they never seemed to question her at all about anything. About why she wanted to be treated like a servant. Why she wanted her stepsisters to have everything. Why she wanted to be mistreated by them so badly. All this is strange and not the way a noble's daughter acts. I also would very much like a body count because she said that her stepsister entertained her longer than anybody else had before. How many have there been? She's only like, what, maybe 18 at this point? Or 16 maybe? Youngest, I'd maybe wager 15. But she's been doing this shit for years and she killed her father when she was a very young child, so how many other people have there been? Also, I can't believe that the stepsisters played the long game for so long. Honestly, I did assume that since they would see or believe that Kyoko was the main cause for them being talked about and treated so poorly in the house because of the perception they get from how Kyoko wants to be treated and how she seemingly gives them everything that she owns, so they would think the stepsisters would be mean to her, forcing her to give them all her things. I would have thought that they then would have turned into their mean selves and then treated her badly because they would resent her for that. But it turns out no. They were extremely smart, or at the very least the older sister was extremely smart, and they played the long game for over 5 years. Because they tried to leave at first, but they knew that they couldn't leave their mom behind. But even then, that's the weird part though, because even then they allowed Kyoko to not let them see her mom. But because they knew if they defied Kyoko's order to not see their mother, they essentially lived in fear for years. Because they probably figured that Kyoko would just kill their mother if they defied her orders already. And they probably saw this hope, maybe their mom could hold on until they managed to finally have Kyoko marry off and leave the house. They lived in fear for over 5 years with this demonic, insane child. And they were brilliant. They had me fooled, honestly. I did think that they now thought of themselves as better than everybody else, better than Kyoko, just better in every way. And even them acting that way at the ball was intentional. Because I did think, why didn't one of them just try to maybe tell the guy that, no, it's not as it seems, Kyoko's being the one that's making it seem like we're the mean one. Although granted, everybody there already had this perception of them and they wouldn't be believed at all. They probably also figured that, although they could probably explain themselves to a degree, even though they wouldn't be believed, but that would take time away from that guy just focusing on Kyoko and then wanting to marry her. And at the very least, this bought them some time to be away from her for a little bit, both when they got to the ball and on their way back home. Although granted, when they got home, they were met with a terrible sight of their dead mother, and they knew that Kyoko was behind it. And then now I realized that they're very smart in saying that their plan is going to work now, knowing that Kyoko is behind that door, because of course Kyoko would infer that they would want to go and marry off this count. So Kyoko being Kyoko, she wouldn't want her dolls to have anything better than she does. So she went there in a red dress, which reminded me of Cruella from the Disney film Cruella. Knowing that she would stand out from everybody else, giving her sob story in front of everybody in order for the count to focus on her. And she would think that she's stealing the count from her stepsisters because they really wanted him, and both inflicting pain on them because of that. But it turns out no. They had her fooled all this time because that's what they wanted her to think. Because they knew she would do that, and since she would be married off and have to live in his house afterwards, and then they would be kicked out because they had no lawful claim to the house, they're not free of her. And although Sawako did want to stay in character for a bit longer, although granted they did have her stuff there, that she kept banging on the door and begging for them to let them back in, this wasn't fair, and then finally for her sister to tell her, we can finally stop pretending. We're finally free. And then at the end, for Kyoko to tell her doll that they outsmarted her. I did think there was a nice detail though. When I first saw those two birds in the cage and the two stepsisters looking at the birds, I thought it was gonna play out how it did in the original story, which is after years of abuse by the stepsister's hand, Cinderella finally got her happy ending and their stepsisters went to her wedding, and I believe they tried to mess it up. Two birds ended up pecking out their eyes. And I thought that's what these two birds were gonna do. They were gonna peck out their eyes in the end. But no, it was meant to represent one, the fact that they were both now two birds in a cage, and two, in the end, they were all set free. Their mother in spirit, and then physically. And now it looks like her sights are set on her new husband, that he's not gonna be her new doll. So I'm wondering, how long is he gonna last before he ends up killing him? Also the fact that these seemingly nice, or I guess sane people, or I guess person in this case being Kyoko, then turning out to be crazy, really reminds me of Angels of Death, because that is pretty much full of it. Like you think these people are gonna help you think they're nice people, but it turns out no, they're not. They're just bloodthirsty, crazy people that wanna kill you. Though again, I do wonder what her end goal was gonna be. What was the whole point of this, or was there no point of this? Was she just crazy to be crazy and she just treated anybody as pawns, and that was the full extent of her enjoyment? That girl honestly knew no love at all. She talked to this doll who could apparently move around, which is creepy and was never explained. And also I'm now wondering if that doll's gonna be a main character in the next 5 episodes, or at the very least a recurring one, and she would appear sporadically in certain areas of different stories, or if not. And now I'm wondering if every story is going to be like this. If every story is going to have the villains be the victims in the story and have the victims be the evil ones. Also, I'm wondering, why did the brothers tell their sister this was a sad story about a girl who lost both her parents and then she was abused by her family, but at the end, everything turned out okay? Because when he phrased it like that, I assumed he was talking about Kyoko, but now I think about it, Jacob was probably talking about his two stepsisters. Also, her voice reminds me of a character who I don't remember, but I've heard the voice before. And also just for general crazy vibes as well, I've never seen this series, I've only heard about it, and I've seen it mentioned, I believe, in Watch Mojo, the manga and anime series Happy Sugar Life. Seeing Kyoko with that bandage and then knowing that she was insane, although she seemed unthreatening she was, it really gave me those vibes. I also kind of want to know what their sister Charlotte thought of the story, unless we're not going to find out to the end of the series, or we just never get her perspective on it, and each episode is going to start with her getting some papers from her brothers, and then it segues into the actual story. Overall, I'm loving this series so far. First episode was amazing. I'm really excited to see the others because from what it looks like, we get Cinderella. We're gonna get Little Red Riding Hood, which is one of my favorite fairy tales. We're gonna get Hansel and Gretel, and I also believe Rumpelstiltskin. I'm just basing this off in the opening credits. I don't really know if they're actually gonna cover those or not. And also, I do like this format, that since it isn't constricted to a 22-minute episode, it's in an over 40-minute episode format, you can get much more into depth with these stories. Like, it's just crazy to me how there really is and probably never will be an exact reason for why Kyoko did the things that she did. It's just a thing that just probably has to be accepted for it just being the way it is because it happened, and there isn't always an explanation for things, so. And did I not say that this was gonna be the year of mythological anime for me? Although I know, granted, this technically isn't a mythological story, these are fairy tales, which might seem the same but they're different. And if by chance you've ever wondered what the difference between myths, fairy tales, folk tales, fables, and legends were, then feel free to check out my story from my first channel. I'll have an image of it on the screen and I'll have the link in the description. But was I wrong or not? This anime season is going off, honestly. I'm enjoying Tonari no Yokai-san, I'm enjoying Yatagarasu, the raven does not choose its master, or it's also known as the crow does not choose the lord. And I'm also enjoying this series. These are all really great series that, ironically enough, are all three that are being slept on. I don't see a lot of people talking about these. I have seen a few talk about Tonari no Yokai-san. As of right now, I have seen nobody discuss Yatagarasu, the raven does not choose his master. Although I have seen that there has at least been one person to do a reaction video on this episode. I haven't seen it, but I know it's out there. But otherwise than that, I don't really see a lot of people talking about these. So I'm just hoping that at the very least people give these a chance. They don't just judge it off of face value, with Tonari no Yokai-san being a furry anime because of the poster, Yatagarasu being a strange anime because of the animation, and that's actually apparently a reason why a lot of people didn't want to watch Oku in the Inner Chambers, because the animation style looked weird to them, so they didn't even want to give it a chance for that reason. And this one maybe because, at the very least, I haven't seen a lot of promotion about it. I only know about it because of Netflix. So maybe they just read it off as a Netflix series that they don't want to bother with, so they're not even going to watch it. Which is sad because I feel like people should really give these lesser known, non-mainstream animes a chance. Because you never know what you're missing out, because these are all amazing series. Now, having said all that, I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode. Is it going to be like this one, or with even crazier twist?